Good morning, everyone. I'm Megyn Kelly. It's Monday, November 3rd, 2025, and this is your AM update.
It's like every day is Halloween, except it's all tricks and no treats.
It's Election Day Eve, and Barack Obama is on the campaign trail attacking the Trump administration while he stumps for Democrats in New Jersey and Virginia, including the guy who said he wants to kill Republicans.
Are there notes of caution here for Democrats? Yes, there are. This is the big one right here. The party's image. Democrats only 28% positive. Look at that, 53 negative.
Polling continues to show the Democrats have a major branding problem. The FBI says it thwarted a terror attack in Michigan and another shocking stabbing incident in the United Kingdom. All that and more coming up in just a moment on your AM update. I've been talking a lot about Riverbend Ranch because I love their steaks. Riverbend Ranch has taken Black Angus beef to a whole new level. For the last 35 years, Riverbend Ranch has been creating a very elite Angus herd by using ultrasound to select genetically superior cattle with a focus on flavor and tenderness. When you purchase from Riverbend Ranch, you are not only supporting the 64 cowboys and cowgirls and their families who work on that ranch, but you're also supporting over 260 other U.S. ranches and the hundreds of American families who work on those. It is born in the USA, raised in the USA, and this beef is processed in the USA as well. It's aged to perfection for 21 days and shipped directly from the ranch to your home. This is not your average Black Angus beef. So order from riverbendranch.com. Use the promo code Megyn for $20 off your first order. And let me know what you think. riverbendranch.com, promo code MEGYN. Tomorrow is Election Day, when the next governor of the state of New Jersey and the next governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia will be decided. In Virginia, Democrat and former Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger taking on Republican Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears. In New Jersey, it's Republican Jack Ciattarelli, a former businessman and state assemblyman, against Democratic Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill. Axios reporting over the weekend that Trump's political operation is spending over $1 million in each state to target Trump voters who usually sit out off-year elections. Pro-Trump entities, including the Republican National Committee, poring over lists of voters the Trump campaign identified as being less dependable ahead of the 2024 elections, operatives reportedly attempting to persuade them to vote through phone banking and digital ads. Mr. Trump himself has not campaigned on the ground in either New Jersey or Virginia. Sometimes that can be unhelpful if the state is dominated by the other party. But last week, he participated in a tele-rally with current Virginia Governor, Republican Glenn Youngkin, aimed at turning out voters in the state. Mr. Youngkin, seen as a formidable Republican on the national stage, but the Virginia Constitution prohibits consecutive terms for the governor position. Mr. Trump, on October 24th, holding a similar tele-rally for Jack Ciattarelli, whom he officially endorsed. The Democrats turning to who else? Former President Barack Obama, who hit the campaign trail Saturday in both Virginia and New Jersey. Here's Mr. Obama in Norfolk, Virginia, where he used the bulk of his remarks to attack Donald Trump.
Because let's face it, our country and our politics are in a pretty dark place right now. It's hard to know where to start because every day this White House offers up a fresh batch of lawlessness and recklessness and mean-spiritedness and just plain craziness. We got a president who thinks it's okay to use the Justice Department to go after his political opponents. Hey, wait, don't boo. Vote. They don't hear boos, they hear votes. He's deploying the National Guard in American cities, claiming to stop crime waves that don't actually exist. We've got masked ICE agents pulling up in unmarked vans and grabbing people, including U.S. citizens. It's like every day is Halloween, except it's all tricks and no treats.
But it was another man at the rally whose presence seemed to eclipse even that of Mr. Obama, Jay Jones, the Democrat Party's nominee for Attorney General in Virginia, in a surprise appearance opening the event, making no mention of his shocking text message scandal that has upended his campaign. As first reported by National Review last month, Jones sent texts where he fantasized about the murder of a Republican colleague and the death of that colleague's children. Jones Saturday attacking All together now, President Donald Trump, as well as his opponent, Republican Attorney General Jason Miyares.
Over 50 times, Jason Miyares has had the chance to sue the president this year to protect Virginia, and he's not stepped up. And that comes at our expense. And I got something to say to that. Virginia deserves better. And there is a reason that Donald Trump has endorsed Jason Miyares in this campaign. He said Jason will never let us down. And what that means is that he'll never let Donald Trump down. But I'm running for Attorney General to put Virginia first, to make sure that we protect our pocketbooks, that we protect our health care access, that we protect a woman's right to an abortion.
The texting scandal becoming a big issue in the gubernatorial race, with Lieutenant Governor Earl Sears on Saturday in Loudoun County attacking Abigail Spanberger for failing to call for Jones to exit the race.
When my opponent says that when it comes to her candidate for Attorney General saying that 2 bullets to the head for his political opponent and that the wife of his political opponent was breeding quote unquote fascists and that they needed to die too, the 2 children, and all she says is, well, she is disgusted and then she is unhappy. Unhappy, Abigail? Wait a minute. Unhappy, Abigail? About murder? How about you get a backbone and tell him he needed to get out of the race? How about you do that?
The Real Clear Politics average of polls showing Spanberger with a 9-point lead, but many pointing out Democrats would not have deployed former President Barack Obama to the Commonwealth if they were not concerned about the race. Polls in the Attorney General race showing a much tighter contest, Republican Miyares holding a 1.6-point lead over Jones in the Real Clear polling average. Mark Halperin, host of Next Up with Mark Halperin on the MK Media Network, telling the Megyn Kelly Show last month that Republicans need to keep the governor's race within about 6 points in order for Miyares to win in the AG spot.
I think if Spanberger wins by more than 6, I think she'll save the bottom of the ticket. But if it's closer
including
than that,
AG.
Yeah, if by 6 or more, I think probably the Democrats sweep. But if it's less than that, then I think Jones will lose.
Mr. Obama also making an appearance in New Jersey Saturday, where he reverted back to one of his favorite attacks, accusing Republicans of discriminating against minorities.
The point is, there is absolutely no evidence that Republican policies have made life better for the people in New Jersey. They've devoted enormous energy to entrenching themselves in power, punishing their enemies, enriching their friends, silencing their critics. They put on a big show of deporting people and targeting transgender folks. They never miss a chance to scapegoat minorities and blame DEI for every problem under the sun. You got a flat tire? Must be DEI. Your wife kicked you out? DEI. Who knew? But what they haven't done is help you.
Meanwhile, his wife Michelle is making the rounds to promote her fashion book and complaining, "We didn't give her family the same grace we give other first families," presumably because of skin color. So who is it that's making DEI a nonstop thing, Barack? While in New Jersey, the 44th president seeming to flirt with a member of the audience before remembering to shout out his missus.
I love you, but hold on. I heard you, girl. Just settle down. I'm here to talk to everybody, not just you. I mean, you look cute, but I am married. Michelle's fine, too.
Polls show a razor-tight race between the Democrat Cheryl and the Republican Chettarelli. Atlas Intel, the number 1 ranked poll by Nate Silver after the 2024 election cycle, has Cheryl up less than 1 point among likely voters. Unlike Virginia, New Jersey releases party registration stats for early voting. Through Saturday, the early in-person vote is competitive. The Democrats at 41%, Republicans at 37%, and unaffiliated and other parties getting 22% of the vote. However, the Democrats have an advantage of over 266,000 votes when mail-in plus the early in-person votes are combined. At least 7 Democrat mayors in the state have endorsed the Republican Chettarelli. And Chettarelli reminded us on the Megyn Kelly Show last week that he had a dominant performance on Election Day back in 2021 when he almost upset incumbent Democrat and current governor Phil Murphy.
Historically speaking, Republicans underpoll in this state because we're outnumbered by so many Democrats. But the other thing to keep in mind is back in 2021, I beat Phil Murphy, the current governor, on election day, in-person voting on the machines by 250,000. So
wow.
If we're going into election day somewhat tied based on the vote by mail ballots that have been returned and early voting, 9 days of early voting, we're in really good shape.
NBC News releasing a national poll Sunday showing a mixed bag for both parties. Republicans hold a 31-point lead over Democrats when it comes to border security, a 22-point lead over Dems in dealing with crime. Democrats hold an 8-point lead over the GOP when it comes to preference for control of Congress in next year's midterms. But even with that, there are warning signs about the Democrats' brand. Here's NBC News chief data analyst Steve Kornacki.
As we asked folks, midterm election, which party would you want to control Congress? And the Democrats have now, in our poll, this is significant, opened up an 8-point advantage over Republicans. We checked this back in the spring. It was dead even. That 8-point level is typically what you would find for a party that's poised for a big midterm election. That's the kind of lead Democrats had when they swept to power in Congress in Trump's first term. So we'll see if that holds now going forward. But that's a potentially big shift. Are there notes of caution here for Democrats? Yes, there are. This is the big one right here. The party's image. Democrats only 28% positive. Look at that, 53 negative. Republicans, it's only 37 and 46. Democrats are 25 points underwater.
Coming up, a Halloween terror attack thwarted in Michigan, and a stabbing incident in the UK leaves the country rattled. You know all those fad diets? Half of Americans do it. And if you do it enough, you could be at risk of diabetes, liver damage, heart attack, and stroke. Weight cycling is when you lose 10 or more pounds, but then you put the pounds back plus a couple more. That all puts tremendous strain on your organs and leads to serious health issues. Bottom line, most people need help to stop weight cycling. And that's why I want to tell you about non-prescription Lean, created by doctors. Lean is an oral supplement, not a GLP-1 injectable. It uses studied ingredients, which Lean says target weight loss in 3 powerful ways: maintaining healthy blood sugar, helping control appetite and cravings, and burning fat by converting it to energy. Burning fat helps keep the weight off. If you want to lose meaningful weight at a healthy pace and keep it off, consider adding Lean to your diet and exercise lifestyle. Get 20% off when you enter MK at takelean.com. That's code MK at takelean.com. A scary story from Halloween. FBI Director Kash Patel announcing on X Friday his agency stopped a terror attack in Michigan. Director Patel writing, quote, "This morning, the FBI thwarted a potential terrorist attack and arrested multiple subjects in Michigan who were allegedly plotting a violent attack over Halloween weekend. More details to come. Thanks to the men and women of FBI and law enforcement everywhere standing guard 24/7 and crushing our mission to defend the homeland." End quote. Details are still scarce, but a top federal law enforcement official telling Fox News that the potential attack had a connection to ISIS. The Detroit News reporting the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force raided 2 homes in Dearborn and a storage facility in nearby Inkster, Michigan. Attorney Amir Mukhlid telling the Detroit News 5 men were questioned by investigators, 2 taken into custody, including his client. Mukhlid claiming to Live Now from Fox, a national news service from Fox television stations, that the group was not planning a mass casualty event or act of terrorism in Michigan, and denying that the group had any ties to international terrorist organizations.
Well, I can't say that at this point. No one's been charged with any crime. So at this point, the U.S. Attorney's Office has arrested at least 2 individuals. My client is one of the individuals detained. We can't release the details as to who that person is just yet until and if the U.S. Attorney's Office brings charges in this case. So things are kind of rapidly developing still as the investigation continues. I do know for certainty that there was no mass casualty event or plot or terrorism act that was planned within the city of Dearborn or state of Michigan by anybody involved in this investigation. Now, whether or not there's some perhaps online rhetoric or curiosity by these kids, we're talking about guys that are 18 to 20 years old. So young adults and teenagers that may have gone a little too far on the internet in terms of their curiosity. But nobody is involved in ISIS or Al-Qaeda or terrorist organizations from this group of young men who were questioned yesterday by the FBI.
The comment about online rhetoric tracking with a report from the Associated Press that the investigation involved discussions in an online chat room with some of the suspects. An unnamed source briefed on the investigation telling the AP the group allegedly discussed carrying out an attack on, quote, Pumpkin Day, an apparent reference to Halloween. Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino posting on X, writing, quote, protecting the homeland is our top priority. We will not rest. And a terrifying situation in the UK Saturday night. 11 people stabbed on a London-bound train in Huntington, which is about an hour away from the British capital. Yes, another horrifying stabbing in the UK. Madmen determined to kill will do so with or without a gun, quite clearly. British Transport Police at first initiating, quote, Play-Doh, the national code word for a terror attack, but later announcing, quote, at this stage there is nothing to suggest this is a terrorist incident. Police saying the suspect is black. He is 32 years old, a British national who was born in the UK. He remains in police custody on suspicion of attempted murder. Initially, a 35-year-old man was also arrested, but police released him after determining he was not involved. Deputy Chief Constable Stuart Cundy saying, quote, our investigation is moving at pace, and we are confident we are not looking for anyone else in connection to the incident. Authorities have yet to release a motive. Footage obtained by the Daily Mail showing passengers screaming on a train platform. A man by himself, dressed in all black with a knife, is seen calmly walking. The Daily Mail reporting the attacker saying, quote, the devil's not going to win, as he approached his victims. Of the 11 wounded, 6 remained hospitalized on Sunday, including a London Northeastern Railway employee in life-threatening condition. The British Transport Police lauding the employee's courage, saying he stopped the incident from being far worse. Quote, detectives have reviewed the CCTV from the train, and it is clear his actions were nothing short of heroic and undoubtedly saved many people's lives. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer calling the stabbing, quote, appalling, writing on social media, quote, my thoughts are with all those affected, and my thanks go to the emergency services for their response. We will have more on this today on The Megyn Kelly Show. And that'll do it for your AM update. I'm Megyn Kelly. Join me back here for the MK Show, live on SiriusXM Triumph Channel 111 at noon East, on youtube.com/Megyn Kelly, and on all podcast platforms.